Hello, everyone. How are you? You guys have been asking me for this complete compensation plan video. I had to learn some things before I could do it. So let's get started. I'm going to share my screen. This is for AKAS DAO. AKAS DAO. We're talking about true decentralized finance. Nobody got a lot of bags of coins, tokens in the beginning. They have a huge burning of liquidity thing that happened, which was amazing. I tell you, I'm not going to go over that because I did in a previous video where I talk about how did AKAS DAO originate from the Olympus DAO, which was created 4 years ago. Many projects are on that protocol and they're all doing well. So, but we're doing better because when you have 4.0, when you improve your product, you're definitely making it better and better every step of the way. And that's what we have here today. Okay, so I'm getting ready to show you. Let me share my screen. Let's see here. Share. Here we go. All righty. So let's get this baby started. AKAS, full chain protocol, full chain DeFi protocol. I'm going to skip the historical things and I'm going to skip a lot of the technicalities. I've done that before. You can also get it from our group in Telegram, which has the full technology that's running behind this. We've got a white paper. We've got a technical white paper. We've got so many documents. So we're going to continue on here. Okay. And so what I'm here, I'm going to talk about the awakening, AKAS. So how does it work? So first, you're going to provide someone with your link, okay? And they're going to go to the AKAS DAO. Okay, that's what's going to happen. I'm going to take my picture off of this. Let's see here. You're going to do that. Yes, probably still show up. And what you're going to do is we are on the Polygon blockchain. You got the Ethereum blockchain, you got the Binance Smart Chain, you got the Bitcoin blockchain, you got the Avalanche blockchain. There's so many blockchains out there. You got the Pulse chain, just so many out there. And we're going to be using the Polygon blockchain. The Polygon blockchain, just like all chains, have a native token. This is what you use for gas. On Ethereum, it's ETH. On Binance Smart Chain, it's BNB. On Avalanche, is their Avalanche token. They use that for gas. But we're also going to utilize that to get a lot of, we're going to also utilize it in order to do some swapping. And I'm going to share that with you. So there are two paths: single token staking and bond purchasing. So there are two products, I call it. Within the single token staking, we have flexible staking and we have long-term staking, okay? Within the bond purchasing, there are three products there: liquidity bonds, we've got treasury bonds, and we've got burn bonds. Right now, I believe only the liquidity bond have actually rolled out. We're early in the game. The other two are coming soon. And for each of these options, you're going to be earning a rebase rewards. What are rebase rewards? You earn that daily. You earn AS daily on the single token staking and the bond purchasing. Okay? It's daily rewards, every 12 hours from anywhere between 0.3% and 1%. The first 12 hours could be 0.4%. Second 12 hours could be 0.6%. It varies. It's dynamic. But you're going to be earning AS. And if you don't withdraw, it's going to automatically compound. So you can, quite frankly, if you want to be fully passive and go on a vacation or something, you can and never have to log on. It's still going to be working for you in your sleep. When you're purchasing bonds, well, when you are doing single token staking, you're going to utilize AS, which is the AKAS token, in order to stake your AS. With the purchasing of bonds, you're going to use a stable coin, okay, which is called DAI. Many of you have heard of stable coins, USDC by the company called Circle, USDT by the company called Tether. Those two guys, they are the biggest in the industry, but their money that they're backing their token with is sitting in a bank somewhere, and they can wake up one day and take those quadrillion dollars out. So it's centralized. The DAI token's been around for years and years and years. It's not something new. I've used it on occasion. And the DAI token that we're going to utilize in order to purchase bonds on the Polygon blockchain, we get our DAI. How we're going to do that? Of course, we're going to use our POL that we bought on exchange. We're going to use that native token, that gas token, right? And we're going to swap it, POL, for some DAI, DAI. I got videos on that as well. They're on the channel. Okay. So, and you're going to actually purchase your bonds with DAI and with DAI. And when you do that, you're going to be earning AS, the AS tokens every 12 hours, just like with the singles token staking, 0.3% to 1%. With the single token staking, what differentiates it from the bond purchasing is this. The single token staking, the flexible staking, as well as the long-term staking, you're going to get some type of a bonus booster, okay? So you're going to get a little extra. With the bond purchase, you're not going to get that extra, but you're going to get a discount on the AS. So let's say the discount is 10%, and let's say the price of the token is $30. 10% of 30 is $3 off. So you'll be able to get your AS tokens actually for $27. 30 minus 3 is 27. But most people like to keep it simple. The single token staking, this is my opinion, has a little less risk. And I'm not going to talk about that here. I'll talk about that when I dedicate a video towards the bond purchase and how those bonds are actually holding up our ecosystem. So I'm going to focus a lot on the single token staking. And I recommend that you do, but I'm not your financial advisor. You do whatever you like to do. So how are we going to do that? I already said you're going to go to your exchange, whatever you're using, Binance, what have you. You're going to purchase POL. Okay. You're going to, because a lot of the exchanges don't have DAI on the Polygon chain. Okay. So purchase a bunch of POL. Let's say you want to stake $1,000 worth of DAI. Okay. What you're going to do, you're going to take your POL, and hopefully you have about $1,005. The gas is really inexpensive on the Polygon blockchain, the Polygon mainnet. So have about $1,005. You may want to put a little more in there because it's a pretty good token that goes up pretty well. But again, I'm not your financial advisor. Yeah, there's risk in crypto. And so get your POL in your wallet or at any of the DEXs that are out there. You want to take your POL. You want to swap it. Okay, remember to keep some gas there. So don't swap it all. You want to swap it for the DAI. Okay, you want to swap it for the DAI. Then here's what I want you to do after you've done that. You've got DAI in your wallet. You've got some POL as gas. You're ready to rock and roll. I want you to log in to the DApp. Log in to the DApp. Click on swap. Okay, make sure you're connected to your wallet. Click on swap and you will see DAI to AS. Okay, so you can do a max, or you can type in the amount of DAI that you want to stake. It's going to convert it to AS. You're going to click on approve. You got to sign the transaction in your wallet. After you've done that, you're going to click on swap. After you've done that, now you have your AS. Once you have your AS, you're going to go to the menu and you're going to click staking. I like the long-term staking, right? So click the long-term staking. You'll be ready to rock and roll, ready to stake, okay? So again, the summary is we're going to be staking AS in the flexible or long-term staking products or any of the 3 bonds I talked about, where you'll find in the menu under bonds. But we're going to focus more on the flexible or long-term staking. With the flexible staking, this is the image you will see. Okay. You're going to make sure that the stake button is orange. You enter the amount that you want to stake. You got the AS, you will put it there. You approve, and you will stake. Okay. There you are. That's it, plain and simple. Okay. But most of us, many of us, let's go back, most of us, we go with the long-term staking. Make sure stake is on orange. You can choose 30 days, 90 days. Let me go back, previous. You can choose 30 days, 90 days, 180 days, 360 days. Okay. In all cases, you're going to be earning every 12 hours between 0.3% and 1%. Plus, you're going to get a little something bonus, a boost, right? A boost. Your boost at 30 days can run from 0.02 to 0.04, not percent, but 0.02 to 0.04. It'll be 0.02 to 0.06 for the 90 days, and it goes up, all the way to 360 days. I like the 360 days or the 180 days, right? Because the thing is, it's not locked for 360 days or 180 days. You're going to be earning rebates every day, earning the rebates plus your boost every day. And every day, you're going to be able to withdraw some of your cash outlay if you like, but that's going to decrease the amount that you're staking. And you can withdraw your boost, and you can withdraw, you can claim your boost, and you can claim your daily rebates, or just let it sit there and compound. You don't have to do anything for compounding. I highly recommend that you not, bastardize your initial outlay. Okay. You might as well keep that baby there. When you are doing a withdrawal, your initial outlay, which some of you call principal, your initial outlay is being earned back too, and the rebase. That's where you'll see withdraw. You'll be able to withdraw it, and you don't pay any fees, any withdrawal fees on your initial outlay, but you do pay it on your daily rebates and on your boosts and everything else that you earn in the system, but just not on your initial outlay. That's why they separate them out. Finally, you can get a bond. We'll talk about that a little later. They talk about the discount. Here it's a 3.54% discount. Okay. And this is when you purchase bonds with DAI. AS, DAI. So let's talk a little bit about the single token staking, which I believe I did. I talked about the daily rebase bonus. 30 days, you get 0.04. 90 days, you're going to get 0.06 extra a day. 180 days, you're going to get 0.08 extra a day. And 360 days, you get 0.09. And in addition to that, you're getting 0.3% to 1% every 12 hours. The longer the staking period, the higher your rebase bonus is going to be. So let's say theoretically, just an example, let's assume that you're getting 0.6% in each of the 12 hours, okay? So this is what you will be earning on a monthly basis, approximately 42.58%, okay, in AS tokens. You're not earning USDT. You're not earning cash. You're not earning the Swiss franc. You're not earning Nigerian naira. You're not earning the US dollars. We are earning AS tokens. And you can do whatever you want with your AS tokens. It's on the market. Okay. It's not no silly token sitting in the back office controlled by some owner. No, it's yours. Do whatever you want to do with it. And you'll see that the annual compound earnings approximately will be 6,561%. Here, you assume that you're making 0.9%, earning 0.9% every single day, every 12 hours. Then, of course, your monthly compound earnings will be more, and your annual compound earnings will be more. But again, you're going to be earning 0.3% to 1% every day. Okay. So that's pretty simple. Treasury bonds. This is where you're going to use DAI to buy the treasury bonds. We got treasury bonds, liquidity bonds, and burn bond. They all work the same, but they're for different purposes. I'll explain in another video. So let's say you get a 5-day treasury bond, you use your DAI or some stable coin, and here is a little confusing. I think I'm going to change this. It says 95 to 100%. This basically means 100% minus 95. Okay, so you're going to get a 5% discount on AS. 30 days, you get a 10% discount. 90 days, you get a 15% discount. 180 days, you get a 25% discount. 360 days, you get a 35% discount. 0 to 35% discount, they vary depending upon the ecosystem. Each minting event is a conscious connection with the AKAS awakening. So it earns the same way, but you're gonna get these discounts, but you don't get the boost. But we'll talk about bonds in the second video. Now, that's it. For those of you who just want to be passive, sit back, watch your money grow, and grow. Be able to withdraw whenever you get ready to. Be able to get it into your wallet, all of that. This is it. That's it. For those of you who are going to be bold enough and to share this with other people, because sharing is caring, we've got the resonance rewards. What is this? Okay, let's say you have $100 or more in AS tokens staking. Let's say you have one direct referral only. What's going to happen is it's going to unlock your earnings on one level up and one level down. Who's one level up? Your sponsor. Who's one level down? That one person you just sponsored. And every day they're going to earn, and you're going to get 10%. Follow me? You're going to get 10%. But I want you to understand that if you have $100 staking and your sponsor, your upline, that's the number one guy, has $10,000 staking, you're not getting 10% on what he's earning every day on his 10,000. The contract will actually calculate 10% of $100 of what he's earning. Okay, that's where that come into play. So that's wonderful. Just remember that. But your people you bring in directly, I don't care if they have a 10,000 or 100,000 or 5,000 or 500, you're going to get 10% of what they're earning every day, period. The cap is only on the level up. Let's say, for example, you say, hey, I really like this, but I would like to make a little more money. Let me go bring in another person. But in that case, you got to have $200 or more staking, 2 direct referrals. Now it unlocks 2 levels up, right? And 2 levels down. So your people you brought in and the people they brought in, boom, you're going to get 5% every single day, above and below. Let's go all the way down when you get to the point where you have $1,000 staking, okay? And you have 10 direct referrals. And remember that number, that's going to be important for ranking. You have 10 direct referrals. You now unlock 10 earning tiers. 10 above, yes, your upline. Those people up there. And 10 below, which is your team. And you're going to be able to earn 1% on all of these guys, 10 above, 10 below. You're going to be able to earn 1% of whatever they're earning on a daily basis, every day, every day, every day. You're going to be earning 1% on those on the 9th level, 2% of those on your 8th level, 2% of those on your 7th, 6th, and 5th level, and 4th level, 3% on your 3rd level, 5% on the 2nd level, both up and down, and 10% on your 1st level, both up and down. This is amazing. See, you're not vibrating alone here. I'm telling you, every rebase, daily rebase resonance across your 10 generations above and below is getting a burst of wealth energy for you. Okay, that's a lot there. But we're not done. we're not done. Let's talk about title rewards. Title rewards are rank rewards. We also have leadership rewards, but this is different than the leadership reward. This is a title reward. For those of you who are leaders, who are really getting out there and spreading the word, and you're really, really excited about this, you know, you may be able to do this in a week, 2 weeks, 2 months, 5 months, a year. It's all up to you. Okay. So if you're holding, okay, when you become a V1, here are the requirements in order to become a sequence, the awakener. That is a V1. You've got to have $1,000 or more staking. Okay. You have $1,000 or more staking. You have to have 10 direct referrals that you personally bring on board. Okay. Now, you have to have $20,000 in sales volume. But wait, we don't want people who have, 10 people across, and then they got one leg with $1 million on it and the other ones aren't doing anything. That's not leadership. Something is wrong. Something is broken about the team. So what they do is the large leg is not taken into consideration when they determine your rank. They'll take the other 9 legs and add all of their performances up, add them up. If all 9 of those are equivalent to $20,000 or more, which likely it will be, then you are considered a V1. Pay attention. The strongest leg, the major leg, will not be taken consideration for rank. But remember, I showed you the resonance rewards. All of this is your whole team. You're going to get that throughout your whole team, up and down. But here, this is for special leaders who go out there and they're developing people, right? They're holding meetings. They're showing people how this baby works, right? So in that case, they'll take those 9 guys, total up all of their performance every day, and every day that they earn, you're going to get 15%. It's a unit level. Okay. It's a unit level. Okay. I'm sweating here. Getting excited. And they're going to leave out your big leg. They call the small community, you'll see them say sub community or minor community. That's the same thing. They're going to add them all up, combine. And if you have $20,000 or more, then you are a V1. What about the next rank, the V2, the resonator? V2, you need $1,500 staking, $1,500 staking, 10 direct referrals, and $60,000 in sales, right? And stakes, $60,000 in stakes going on in your team, okay? And you would get 25% on that earning. We go all the way down to become a V9. You got to have $20,000 in staking, your personal holdings, and 20 direct referrals, $1.5 million, total small community performance, sales performance, staking performance, and you'll be able to earn 95% on everything they're earning. But remember, this is a differential unit level. So you're going to have some people between you and your team that are V1s and V5s and V6 and things of the sort. So if you're a V1 and you've got a V6 in getting 65%, right? So what's going to happen is, you're not going to get all of the 15%. So it doesn't really matter. You're making money in a lot of other places. You're ranking up and you're going to get some more delicious earnings. And I'll show you that later. As you advance, you start getting in the leadership bonus pool. So if you're the first person who's the V10, you're going to share 1% of the whole community, not just your team. 1% of that bonus pool will go to you. If there are 5 people who are V10, then they split that 1%, but it's going to be huge. And the same thing with V11 and V12, where it's 2% and 3%. Okay. So that's wonderful. Okay. Let me do this. Bear with me. Okay. Here we go. Okay. Super. Now let's continue. Let's talk about the leadership award. There's so much here, guys. So much here. We've talked about the resonance. We've talked about the title awards. Now we're going to talk about the leadership award. This is really not that difficult. Okay. Every referral made by a leader is recorded and you're going to be rewarded. We know that already. This is for people who are V1 to V12. This is for anyone with a title rank. Okay. Now, also, it only applies to those in your team who are also title ranked. So if you got a bunch of passive people not interested in title ranks or whatever, they don't count in the leadership award. Only throughout your team, the B1s, the B2s, the B8s, the B10s, etc., is where you're going to make money here. But you yourself have to be V1 to V12. We're going to talk about generational earnings, but it's a compression generation, compressed earnings, and I'm going to talk about what that really means. Let's say, for example, you are a V1, okay? And let's say, remember this, you're V1. And let's say a bunch of folks in your downline, a bunch of folks on your team in your community are V5s and V10s and all of that. This is going to kind of, when you have all of these people who are ranked, title ranked, then it's going to take a little bit away from here. So what they did was they say, okay, we'll give you an incentive. Number one, I just tell you that if you're keeping up with your team, man, you know, have a nice, healthy competition says, I'm going to beat my sponsor. And they're going to say, no, I'm going to beat you. I like games like that. I'm very competitive, many of you know. And so here's the extra for everyone, regardless of if you're V1 and you've got a lot of V10s and V6s and V4s in your team. You're going to get this regardless. And you're going to want them to be ranking. You're going to want them to have titles. So this is how it works. Let's say you're V1 or V12, it doesn't matter. On your first generation, right, you're going to get 2% on all of their rebates that they're earning daily. So let's say you bring in Jack, John, Judy, you got a bunch of guys here, and none of them are ranked. You're not going to get penalized and say, well, you don't get anything from the first generation. It's going to compress and it's going to look down and see where your first ranked person in your team, the whole team, are located. Oh, there she is. She's on the third level. She's a V3. You're going to get 2% there. Okay. You're going to get 2% of the daily title award earnings from all title accounts within your first 10 generations. A generation is not just the level. A generation, a title generation, is those where the smart contract find people with ranks, with titles. So we're going to keep going down. Nothing there, nothing there, nothing there. Oh, something here, even though that's your fourth level, that's your first generation of title. Okay. The next one, oh, there's some more ranks here. That's your second generation of titles. You'll go down, nothing there, nothing there. Oh, here's another one. That would be your third generation of titles. They compress it so you won't be losing anything. Because a lot of times you have teams where the guys who are all the way down there at the bottom, they're jamming. They're doing all of the work. You're going to be able to benefit from that down 10 generations, where generations are where the system can find titled folks. Okay, so you're going to get 2% of the daily title award. That's wonderful. Okay, that is wonderful. More stuff, and there's still more money. Income tax. Income tax is simply a withdrawal fee. Okay, so when you claim, you can claim every day, or you can let it compound, or if you're a leader or team builder, you're going to be getting rebates, rewards, a percentage of the rebates awards that your team is generating. All of that counts. So you can just withdraw those, not withdraw, you can just claim those if you like and keep your staking compounding. Whatever you want to do, create your own strategy. Personally, I have flexible staking, I have long-term staking, and I have a node which is no longer available. June 19th was its deadline. I don't touch my node. I let that compound. I have a team, so I get additional monies. And then I utilize some of that at times and maybe create a new stake, or maybe, just withdraw and convert it to, to DAI, convert my AS to DAI, or just swap it somewhere and put it in my pocket, or go have dinner or go on vacation, right? But when you're claiming your earnings, you can choose whether you want to be paid in 5 days, 10 days, 15 days, or 20 days. Of course, if you choose 20 days, you get a 1% withdrawal fee or income tax. If you choose 5 days, then your income taxation ratio is 15%. Take your pick, 15, 10, 5, or 1. Some people are surprised that I choose 20 all of the time. Here's why I choose 20. The taxation ratio is less. It's 1%. They said, wow, every time you withdraw, you got to wait 20 days. Not really. Let's say you're withdrawing every day. You say, I want it in 20 days. Then the next day comes. I want that in 20 days. The third day comes. You say, I want that in 20 days. By the time you get to the 20th day, you're withdrawing every day. Every day is accessible. Every day is accessible to you. Every day is accessible. But you can mix and match. I've done some five days for a test. Most of the time I do 20 days. On occasion, I'll do 15 days. It's all up to you. Okay. Now, let's talk about another way of earning money. There's income tax. 50% of the income tax or the withdrawal fees are put into a bucket to replenish the reward pool. Okay, so let's talk about that. We've got a rebate award, and in your DApp, you hit menu, you click DAO, you'll see reciprocal pool close to the bottom. Okay, that's what all your money is. When you click DAO and you click on any of those, and you'll see how much money you're making there. And you can claim those as well. Okay, so that has nothing to do with staking. Your staking is on its side. I already have a video on how to stake. I'm going to do a more detailed video there. But let's continue with how much money we can make with AKAS by participating in this awakening, this AKAS awakening. So if you're V1 through V4, you're going to be able to get a rebate award that you will find every 15 days. It'll show up. I think the 9th was the last day. The 9th, then it'll be the 24th. Was it the 9th or the 10th? But 15 days later, it's going to show up. 15 days later, it's going to show up for everyone who's a V1 through a V4. Okay, the V5s and V6s and all you guys, you're making a lot of money anyway. Don't hate. The V1s, the V4, they've done a lot of hard work. We want to reward them. So here's how it works. The Awakener sequence, the Awakener, that's a V1. Out of all of the money, remember 50% of the income tax goes into the reward pool. 40% of that will go to all V1s. V2s, the resonators, they would get 30%. The origin, the echoer, the V3s will get 20%, and the sacred, the guardians, the V4 will receive 10%. I know there are some of you who are saying, well, shucks, why don't the V4s get more than the V1s? You know why? Because there's going to be more V1s. There's always like this in anything we do in life. There's going to be more V1s who's going to be able to share that 40%. There's going to be less people who are V4s. So it's still a nice size, but they're going to be able to share that 10% amongst the V4s. Every 15 days, I look forward to that. I'm not done. Don't try to take it all in. If you're watching this on replay, watch it on replay. And I tell you, you're going to start learning more and more. Once you get engaged, you learn more. You're going to start teaching others who are asking you questions, and you're going to learn more. Because what I've learned is the more you teach, the more questions you ask, the more you teach, the more you learn. And you're able to spread that to others. And this is what I am doing this morning. Okay, so the service reward. All you have to do is refer one person and be a V1, but actually you can't be a V1 with just referring one person. You would need to refer two, because remember, they get rid of your largest leg when they're calculating your rank as a V1 or V2 or V10 or what have you, in terms to be in regards to being titled. So to recognize the long-term service and consensus building efforts of our V1 through V12 title members within our community, it's going to establish a consensus service allowance. It's only for the differential portion to avoid overloading the system. They don't want to overpay people. This is not like a Ponzi or anything. We don't need to rob Peter, pay Paul. That is not the model that we have here. And I want people to understand that. It's not John coming in with a whole bunch of USDT, and then they're overpaying everybody who are already in, and then it implodes because people stop coming in as quickly. That's not how this works. So anybody tell you that, tell them to prove it, and I can prove otherwise later on. Ask me, I'll do a video. As a matter of fact, I have already done that. Okay, so let's say, for example, John comes in underneath you. John wants a $10,000 stake. And let's say that John, he's got his POL. He swapped his POL for DAI. But rather than John going into the back office of the DApp, logging in, connecting his wallet, etc., to swap his DAI for AS, he says, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to swap my DAI for AS outside of the system. And then he comes in with his AS in stake. You will not be entitled to this allowance ratio. This allowance ratio is only for your team, the people that you bring in. Understand this. The people you personally bring in who utilize the internal swap mechanism from DAI to AS, like I showed you in the back office. Okay, but they can do whatever they want to do. But I'm going to teach everyone to do their swaps in the back office, because they're going to want people they bring in to do the same. And so if that's $10,000 in staking, and so you swap the DAI for AS in the back office of the DApp, you're going to get that 5% of the $10,000, which is $500. Otherwise, you will not get this 5% service award. You follow me on this, or you will not get this 5% award. If you miss it one day or on a couple of people, it's not the end of the world, because I just showed you like 6 ways we're earning as leaders, and people who are working are earning, in addition to our passive rebase awards, daily awards. So there's a lot of money here. So don't cry. If somebody chooses to do it that way, do their swap outside of the system, that's their choice, that's their right. But I'm saying, let's do this. Let's help one another. Let's utilize the swap, internal swap, because that helps the ecosystem too. They do some burning and all kinds of things with that, as the swap mechanism is earning fees through a smart contract. So I want to help the ecosystem. I want it to grow. I want it to stabilize. I want it to be moderated. So I use the internal swap mechanism. You have to be a V1 through a V12. Okay. You have to have staking. They have to have staking of AS staking or the bond products purchase for more than 180 days. So the 180 days or the 360 days. Okay. I always pick 360 days because it's just crazy. Okay. So you're going to get up to 5% automatically settled by the contract. Okay. It's just that simple. It's just that simple. Okay. So this is a good one. That's more money. So I already talked about all of these. So I'm not going to go over the bond mechanism, staking mechanism, bond burning. I'm going to get deep into the details in another video on the technical analysis of the core mechanism of the AKAS DAO. But I'm not going to do that here. I just wanted to let you know the many ways that you can earn here passively, then resonance reward, title awards, leadership award, service award, income tax mechanism, rebate awards, burning mechanism, release award. We're going to talk about all of that. I like to say, welcome to AKAS, where we are participating in the ecosystem jointly as a community. Rather than having external liquidity providers like me, because I do a lot of DeFi, I'm a liquidity provider for many different DeFi projects. I'm not talking about network marketing or affiliate marketing and DeFi projects. I could wake up one day and say, okay, I've got a $500,000 here. I'm over it. I'm going to pull out my $500,000 in liquidity, and I'm going to search out another DeFi product. That has a negative impact on the price of the AKAS token. Here, we are joint market making. We are the market makers. We're going to share in the value growth, in the growth of the value of our ecosystem. Okay. We're all going to be able to participate in market making. And the ones who are doing the market making are the ones who purchase the what they call COC, right? Something cooperation. I can't remember what it stands for, but it's that node. We're all the market makers. No more nodes. June 19th, they stopped selling those. And so what'll happen is it did this already. It burned 100% of the ASDAI liquidity, about $6 million, I believe it. Completely burned. I saw it on the blockchain. Completely burned. How do you know? You go to the blockchains that are out there. You go to Ethereum. You go to Binance Smart Chain. You go to Avalanche. You go to any of these blockchains. You go to Polygon. You go to Pulse Chain. All burn addresses look like this. 0x0000000 or 0x00000 DEAD dead. That's part of the blockchain. No one has a key to it. Once you put anything in those addresses, you'll never get it back. So don't put anything in those addresses unless you just want to burn because you want to help the ecosystem. Thank you very much. But they're burned and you can find it on the blockchain. You'll find some deals that says, yeah, we put it in a burn wallet. And I look 0x4FE3D. That's not a burn wallet. That's one of the developers' wallets. So this is some of the things that you look for. And I'll talk about that a little later. But we've got everything. We've got everything here. AKAS iterates and upgrades the Olympus DAO that I talked about in one of my videos on a full blockchain basis. Olympus DAO was launched 4 years ago. Olympus DAO upgraded to 2.0 3 years ago, to 3.0 3 years ago, right? 2 years ago. Now we have AKAS. We call it AKAS 4.0, Olympus DAO 4.0. And this baby's been working flawlessly, but they continue to tweak it, So we've got fair launch. No ICO, no VCs holding, investing tokens to dump on our heads. No company that has all of the tokens to dump on our heads. You can find that on the blockchain. We have permanent liquidity with locked. We have bond burning. We've got a community-driven reward system. I just explained that to you. So they're committed. AKAS is committed to building a new generation of iconic, fully decentralized DeFi protocols, reshaping trust. Remember, we say don't trust, just verify. We're able to verify, which is how we began to trust. So they're reshaping trust and order in on-chain or DeFi, right? On-chain finance or decentralized finance. When an era calls for a new order, we no longer wait passively. I can say the same thing to the condition of the world today. We need to take control of our lives. No longer wait passively for something to happen to us. Instead, we choose to forge it with our own hands. That, my friends, is AKAS DAO. Enjoy your, here we go. Enjoy your day. Okay. So I tell you, look at my hair. My hair just grows. It's time for a cut. But in any case, get back with the person who's sharing this video with you. And I tell you, you're going to have a whole lot of questions. So get back with the person that shared this with you. They may have their own Telegram groups or WhatsApp or what have you. I have a Telegram group for those of you who like to join it. It's all up to you. But sometimes teams like to keep their people together, but the leaders typically are in my group and a few more who are stragglers. But I tell you, I'm all in. I'm out of retirement. You can't put me back in retirement. Okay, guys, I'll talk to you later. Queen Wiki signing out. Bye-bye.